Yeah, thanks, Mark. Thanks for having me here speaking on your LTR online dating conference. Thanks to 250 people watching us worldwide. My name is Henning Wiechers from Cologne in Germany, and I'm talking about the online dating market in Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. Well, Austria and Switzerland had some mid-sized dating players some years ago. Today, their industry is more or less dead. So, to us, the people from Austria and Switzerland are only consumers, which we can easily address. My background. I'm into online dating since 2003, and I'm one of those review guys. I'm an online dating affiliate delivering traffic to the dating sites, and this is two typical landing page examples from my portals. Yeah, during all those years, I brought more or less 20 million singles to the different dating services, and during the first years, we got huge amounts of free traffic from Google. Thank you, Google, for all the traffic. That was a real money maker. Today, as you all know, when you search on a mobile device, there are some ads coming in the beginning, and when you're on position number 1 in the normal results, it's only like being on position number 4 or 5. Google is making all the money. We take our margin out of this rat race for the best ad, but I don't want to complain. I just say thank you to Google for all the traffic in the past. Yeah, but now let's step into the market. Population. There are 100 million German speakers in Europe. That's the biggest language community. When you are from somewhere in China, Australia, US and want to go for this market, well, it looks big, it is big, but it's very competitive, and many companies from other countries failed. They couldn't make it here. Compared to the US, we have like 30% of the size. Keep this 30% in mind for the sheets that are coming now. How wealthy are we? How strong is our economy? How much can you charge here? And the GDP per capita is a good indicator for that. And when you put all together, we reach an about 80% level of the US. But take a look at Germany and Switzerland. 47k in Germany, 83k in Switzerland. So if the German companies ask us, Henning, should we really go for the small Switzerland? I tell them, yes, definitely. And you can simply double your prices there. And the people gonna pay. They don't care. And even the best thing is 5% of lost sales in Switzerland versus 30% of lost sales in Germany. So to us, when we bring a single to a dating site, same brand, it's worth 2.5 times more in Switzerland than in Germany. What a lovely market. But there's another thing. What the hell happened to Germany? Only 47k GDP per capita. That's even less than the farmers in Austria. Why? Well, let me do this little excursion. Germany is a country that lives in and from the past. We are known for being hard-working engineers, made in Germany, quality comes from Germany, but that's all old industries. And we Germans, we hold only 15% of our top 30 companies. So 85% of these values are in the hand of foreign investors. And that's where all the money goes to. It runs out of the country. This is even worse. The median wealth per capita. Germany, position 15 out of 15 in Europe. Imagine you put all the Germans in a long row according to how much wealth they have. Yeah? Then the average German in the middle has 51k. So half of the Germans have less. They have no stocks. they have no private real estate. To be honest, they live from their hands in their mouth, and they'll never ever be able to cope with the bigger crisis. They have to pay the rent for their apartments. They are kept in this rat race. But maybe we Germans are looking into a broad and much better future. 4% of our population got the COVID vaccination yet. 4%. We are on position 40 out of 80 countries. We invented that stuff, but actually we don't have it. And if we have some doses, we are not able to distribute it. Third world country. Fiber optics networks, position 38 in the world. E-government, ranked 21 out of 28 in Europe. Digital learning doesn't take place. Do you know any GAFAs from Germany, any Googles, Apples, Facebooks or Amazons? No, we don't have that. And even our famous German car brands like BMW, Volkswagen or Mercedes, they have to buy the batteries for the new e-cars somewhere in Asia. And if you buy a 100k BMW, the first thing you do is connect it to your mobile device, because Google Maps is much better than the implemented navigation system. And all the data, like the money, runs out of the country to somewhere else. Well, we Germans are stable, we are still stable. We do much better than Italy, France, Spain, even than the UK. But in the future, I've got the feeling we'll be a third world country. And we are just too fed up with all the good things out of the past, and nobody is able to move quickly to adopt to all the challenges that are waiting out there in this world of exponential growth and new competitors from all over the world, hungry countries, hungry nations. We Germans are old and lazy and wow. Okay, but back to online dating. There are 10 million online and mobile dating users in Germany, Austria, Switzerland. This is like a bit less than 25% compared to the US, where we have 40 million users, more than 40 million users. This is just because we are a bit behind in terms of general internet usage. What about our revenues? Well, Germany is the biggest online dating market in Europe, 250 million. The three countries together make like 350 million. This is like $3.5 per capita. There are no real figures for the US. It's only said that the US dating sites make 2.5 billion of revenues, but that's worldwide revenues. I have no idea how much the US citizens spend for online dating, but compared to our $3.50 per capita, I'd suppose US is on a level of like $5, $6, $7. If anybody knows how much it is, please tell me so I can remove these 3 question marks out of this sheet. Yep, let's take a look at the market segments. It's very familiar. Actually, it began with the classic personals like Match.com. Then we have the Matchmakers like, eHarmony in the US. It's a questionnaire. It's for long-term relationships. We have our freemium dating apps, Tinder, where you don't have to pay for communication, but for getting more attention. That's their business model. Casual and adult dating is big in Germany, though most of the money goes to shady gray market players, where the German men actually will never ever be able to find a woman and will never ever get laid. There are good players, fair players, where you can get laid, but most of the money goes to all those fake dating sites with thousands of brands, lots of fakes, but no real woman. Niche dating is by far not that big than in the US. Singles over 50 is growing, gay is strong, foreign brides used to be strong in the past, but why should a Russian lady go for one of those poor German men? You know, the wealth gap between the Eastern European countries and Germany is not that big as it used to be, so the market shrinked. How many users are there in the different market segments? And on the left you see that the freemium dating apps, they are the dominant ones. Nearly half of the people using those apps. In terms of revenue, the matchmakers are taking the big money out of the market, also nearly 50%. And this is a real German specialty. Yeah, this is one of the key learnings for today. When you take a look at the right here, what happened in the US in 2010? There were strong personals, and there was a strong matchmaking segment, and the apps just were invented. Today in the US, the apps they dominate everything. They disrupted the classic personal and the matchmakers. There were matchmakers in the US at least. Most countries in the world don't have matchmakers. There was only classic personals, and now the freemium dating apps kill them. So most of the countries in the world are just freemium dating app societies. In Germany, it's entirely different. We have our strong matchmaking players, and they were growing. Their market share was growing. Only the classic personal got squeezed in the middle. But the German people know, if I really want to find a long-term relationship, then I have to go to a matchmaker. That's where I can find it. And I have to pay some money for it, because money leads to quality dating in this situation. And this is a big marketing effort. Our leading brands, you know, last Super Bowl, every break there was online matchmaking ads on TV. The billboards on the airports, everywhere in the big cities, matchmaking advertisements. And so the German users, they know online dating is better when I pay for it and go to the quality sites. Now let's take a look at the brands here in Germany. What are the big brands? And let's begin with some US brands who tried the German market. Some tried harder, some tried just a bit. But after all, they burned like 100 million euros here. It started with Match.com, Ashley Madison, Adult Friend Finder, Zeus, some apps, and only, like in most of the countries in the world, Tinder made it. So why did they all fail? And the first thing is arrogance. They didn't really take a look at the German market. There were translation mistakes. They didn't offer the right payment methods, and so they were too bad at the end of the day. And our German dating sites were strong players, and they know how to buy traffic, they know how to convert traffic, and if the conversion funnels on those US sites were not calibrated correctly, they just wasted money. And what happened at the end of the day? They bought many of our brands, so they occupied our market by doing a big buy-in, which is an American success story, definitely. When I take a look at our income as affiliate, 80% of our revenues, of our commissions we earn, came from 14 brands in 2005. Today there are only 6 brands left, which make 80% of our affiliate commission revenue. This is normal for a market that's ripening. There are competitors dying, there are M&As and so on. So, but we are much more depending on 6 big brands, and obviously as review guys, we hate the situation because we need a lot of competition. That's better for us as review people. So who are the big brands? And in the freemium dating sector, there's of course Tinder leading, followed by Lavu and Badoo, which is more or less the same size, and Tinder is strong in the big cities, in the more academic surroundings where Lavu, Badu take the rest. Rural areas and not so educated people, white trash. They love Lavu, Badu. A lot of video in there. Tinder is a bit more conservative. They still work like they worked 5 or 6 years ago. But the other ones are they are more going for new features and stuff. So, classic personals, there were lots of brands, mid-sized local brands here from Germany, but the only one who survived is Love Scout 24. And this is our flagships here in Germany, Parship and Elite Partner, our super strong matchmaking brands. Parship has about like 75% of the market, Elite Partner goes for 20%. And those companies, they had a 10-year fight for being the number one. The two companies, both from Hamburg, the red and the blue ones, they hated each other and they got merged 2015, and now there's only one platform, but they kept their databases, their user databases separate, so they can charge twice for people who are searching for a partner, because by paying once, you can't see all the relevant matches. So who owns those major brands? And what you see is the US companies are strong when it comes to freemium and classic personals. So Tinder and Love Scout 24 today belong to the Match Group, the biggest dating company in the world. Badu was bought by BlackRock, and today they are on the stock market. Lavu was the biggest German dating app, bought by a used company, now part of our Matchmakers, Parship Elite Partner. But yeah, they are an exception, and what you should learn from here is like US strong in freemium dating apps and personals, while the Germans are dominating the German matchmaking market. And from dominating the German matchmaking market, they started an incredible expansion over the globes. Yeah, the whole globe now is dominated by German matchmakers, at least in the Western markets. And there are 3 incredible strong companies doing that. There's the Parship Elite Group. They are from Hamburg, about 200 people working there, 350 million of revenue. And what they did in 2017 is they bought the number 1 in the US, eHarmony, who was really down at that time. And what did they do? Well, they removed all the staff in the US, too expensive, too old-fashioned, boring. They removed the eHarmony technology. They threw it away and migrated eHarmony to the Parship Elite Partner platform. And then they started millions of little steps in terms of conversion optimization, the conversion funnels, the pricings, the CRM, customer relationship management, all the little German engineer thingies you have to do to make it a prospering dating site. And here you see the prices. I mean, the Germans know for a 12-month membership, I have to pay about $750 at Parship. And in 2018, before the acquisition, eHarmony was so desperate that they offered 1 month trial memberships for $60. I mean, yeah, desperation. What Parship did here was, this is the plans 2021. They increased the prices. You can start with a 6-month package. And what the Parship guys told us actually is, when we took over eHarmony, we were not able to buy a ranking position on the big US online dating review sites. It was just not affordable. And after all those conversion and optimization steps, today we are able to go for position number 3 after Match and Zoosk. And this is just a snapshot of the situation right now. And they strongly they strongly think that they can go for position number 1 in the US, because the Parship technology will make eHarmony the best converting dating site in the US. This is Parship Elite Partner eHarmony. The second big company called Spark Networks, they started as Affinitas in Berlin in 2009. They have like 250 people working there, 225 millions of revenue, and they knew from the beginning the German market is too tough. Why should we go for it? Let's develop a super cool online matchmaking platform and implement it in all the dating markets where there are no strong online matchmaking players. Let's make the people pay for our matchmaking service. Let's charge much more. Let's get people who are more interested into finding long-term relationships, and the high price matches or attracts the right persons, and so those platforms gonna work from the beginning. And they have lots of brands here in Europe, like sometimes they are called Elite Singles or eDarling, and then they go for different niches like Silver Singles for singles over 50 and so on. A success story, a real success story, managed from Berlin. And in 2018, I think, they got merged with a big player from the US, Spark Networks. But merging, they're even on the stock market. They're still on the stock market. But what means merging in this case? It means, what you know from Parship, they removed all the people working in the US. There are only 3 guys in New York left who do the paperwork for the boring paperwork for the stock market. And all the rest of the work is done in Berlin. They throw away the technology. Now all those strong dating brands from former Spark Networks like Christian Mingle or JDate, they all run on the former Affinitas technology. And they even bought Zoosk, the number 1 or number 2 online matchmaking platform in Germany, in the US. So incredible success story. And you see the scheme, getting rid of overpaid US employees, moving all that to Germany, where the people are very, very good in this online conversion optimization, performance marketing business. And they are cheap. You have to pay like 40K for a junior SEO manager in Berlin, much cheaper. And we Germans feel a bit like the Indians of software development. But it's very good for Berlin. It's very good for our economy. And here in this case, we own those companies. We are not only doing the work like the Indians do. The third company, InSparks from Munich, 100 people, revenue 150 million. They were much more people working for them. But what they did was getting rid of all the in-house marketing people who did Facebook ads and press releases and TV. They only focus on some spot markets in terms of this kind of advertisement. But they entirely rely on the affiliates, and they're strong brands. They have 4. It's a B2 for mainstream academic singles, for academic people obviously, and then they have Singles 50 and the casual C-Date product, which is the biggest. Yeah, they rely on affiliate marketing. So they adopted their platform to more than 50 countries. They are even in Ecuador or in Hong Kong. Yeah, and they go with affiliates. They let the affiliates do the work. There's a competitor of us in Berlin who runs his review sites in all those little countries, simply buying AdWords traffic. And guess who's ranked on position 1, 2, 3, and 4 on his portals somewhere in the world? It's InSpark products, and it's sometimes very, very cheap to buy this traffic there. And some of the population in these countries are able to afford that stuff. For example, on Czechoslovakia, how do you call them today? Or let's say Slovenia, B2 is more expensive than the average income. but they don't care. There'll be enough people who are going to pay for it. And it's also a success story. They're growing and growing and growing. And if you put all that stuff together, then you see that the Western world leaders in online dating are, on the one hand, the US players, freemium dating apps, classic personals. They are real strong when it comes to many users, viral growth like Tinder. When it's an easy to sell product, a fun product, which is cheap, you can only earn like $1 to $20, $30 per paying member. Most of the members don't have to pay. And globally, it's a $3 billion market in 2025. And on the other hand, you have the matchmaking technology from Germany. This is a $1 billion business in 2025, and this is a business where there are few users who are willing to pay a lot, but you have to convince them. You have to win their trust. You have to win their commitment, and at the end of the day, there's no viral growth. You have to manage the growth. You have to get every single paying member on your platform. And this is more like German engineering. Yeah. And what the ridiculous thing of all those stuff is, it's not the French or the Italians. It's us stiff and anti-romantic Germans who rule the internet world of love. Incredible. I still can't believe it. So, thank you very much for listening. My name is Henning Wiechers. If you find me somewhere online now, feel free to ask. I'm available for another at least 45 minutes. Thank you. Bye-bye.